We are getting a more clear picture of the possible motive behind Monday's murder of Arlington Martin High School student Carl Wilson. Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Sources tell Fox 4 News what happened at school and at a car wash in Kennedale just before the shooting. Brandon Todd is at that car wash tonight with the details you will hear only on Fox 4. Brandon.
Yeah, Steve and Clarice, this memorial right here just across the street from where that shooting happened. Posters, flowers. It has been growing and attracting friends and classmates of Carl Wilson who have come just to pray or even just to cry. But Kennedale police say the person who pulled the trigger has not yet been arrested. It has still been tough for classmates of 18-year-old Carl Wilson to deal with his murder. The Martin High football player and father to an 18-month-old boy was by all accounts trying to make a better life for himself and succeeding. But before he was gunned down at this Kennedale car wash, sources close to the investigation tell me Wilson was at that car wash to participate in or possibly try and end a fight that he had walked away from that day in the cafeteria at school, a fight that centered around a girl. Instead, the fight quickly escalated, and investigators say their suspect, with ties to a gang, pulled a gun and shot Wilson.
We've got a lot of witness statements that the investigators are going through and trying to piece together exactly what happened at the scene, who was where.
Wilson's body ended up in the street a few feet away from his car, a silver Mercury Cougar. The Tarrant County medical examiner says Wilson was shot once in the abdomen and twice in the head. Detectives, as well as those who knew Wilson, said the athlete was not involved in a gang. But at least one person they're looking for does have ties to an Arlington gang, the driver of a black Lincoln Navigator seen leaving the car wash. Kennedale police found the SUV abandoned in Grand Prairie and are processing it for evidence.
We want to get our warrant and get in there and look at it for evidence and clues and see if maybe it can lead us to identify who's responsible for this.
And again, back out live here. Again, investigators have said that argument that he was in the cafeteria, not quite a fight. It was stopped before it ever got that far. But we're told by some of the students who have come to this memorial who didn't want to be interviewed on camera that the student with which he had that argument at school has not yet returned to school. Clarice, Steve?
All right, Brandon, I know you've been working hard in contact with so many people trying to get this story right. Different accounts have been coming to you. You've had to figure out what was right and what wasn't. But at this point, you feel good about it. We've nailed down that Carl Wilson went to this car wash to stand up to somebody he was having trouble with.
Right. At that point, yeah, and what his intentions were may be unclear as well. Whether he was coming here just to talk it out, maybe whether he was coming here to actually fight. We don't quite know. And all of the details in between the time that he arrived here and the time that he was shot are also part of a gray area that investigators are working to try and clear up. I've been told various accounts of what happened, and those accounts seem to be different from each person that I hear them from. So as we are holding on to that as well to hear the truth coming out, the actual statement, the actual facts of what actually happened from investigators after they get everything nailed down to try and really figure out what all transpired here. That seems to be the big gray area, Steve, and again, what the intentions may have been by Carl Wilson. Maybe only a few people know that, but it certainly did not end the way he intended. Steve?
Right. Yep. All right, these things come out slowly sometimes. We'll sure you'll get it. Brandon Todd, live in Kennedale. Thanks.